I don't know. I don't know what's a good team.
It's like the Eagle
Some
Fangs.
other legendary
The Eagle Fangs.
Eagle Fangs, bro. They could be as big as the Eagle Fang. Welcome to another episode of Don Draper's Den. In this podcast, we discuss branding and marketing and how it touches so many aspects of our lives. We also talk a bunch of trash about music and food and culture, probably each other and nostalgia and so much more. We do hope that you're entertained. We hope that you can get some insight from two marketing professionals such as ourselves. I'm Chris. This is Ernie. And in this episode, we get into a lot of the Super Bowl, really. I mean, that's where we started getting a little bit deep in the beginning. And how the Super Bowl and...
Talking about the Canadian tuxedo.
The Canadian tuxedo is strong today, dude.
Talking
strong.
about Super Bowl ads, commercials.
Right. How I should have been born in a different decade because I could have had a really cool mullet and been super tan and drive like a IROC Z or something. So anyways.
Talk about how Chris is rooting for the Eagle Fangs.
Eagle Fangs all the way. Eagle Fangs for life. So we do hope you're entertained. And of course, as always, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to blow this thing up and we appreciate your support. So without further ado, pour yourself a glass and let's get into this. Cheers. So we've kind of been out of it for a hot minute. A little bit.
A little hiatus.
Yeah.
Things got really busy.
They sure did. New year.
A good thing. It was a good thing.
Teams growing. Lots of new cool things on the horizon for this coming year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're trying to make some legends over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make the myth creation real.
Take it off in 2025.
That's right. Wheels up, dude. And to commemorate such things, I'm wearing a Canadian tuxedo.
Is that what they call that?
That's what they call it. I walked in the gym. It's comfy. I always wanted one of these. It's comfy, right? It's warm, right? And I'm like, I want to definitely get that. So Shannon was nice enough, got me a little gift. And so I'm like, oh, sweet, right? And then I got the jeans on. I had the boots, and walked in, nice and cozy. I had the gloves and the whole bit. I walk into the gym, drop my stuff off at the mat as I usually do. And ball busting was immediate, just totally immediate. Like, oh, Canadian tuxedo over here, don't you know? I was like, what's your problem, man? Why? But I just got to learn to embrace it, man.
Nice.
I figure if they're gonna bust balls, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Right.
Well, the guys at your gym are like brothers to you, so that's what brothers do.
That's exactly what they do.
Bust your chops.
Yeah. And subsequently, I would have no doubt that they probably went looking online that very night. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, it was kind of a cool jacket.
All right.
If I could of course, they were like, you should put a bird patch on my jacket and stuff like this.
You should.
It never ends. I might. I have them on my gi pants. Yeah, like
what kind of bird is it?
I think it's like a raven.
Okay. I need to say,
or a crow.
She's like a cool bird at least. To represent your nickname.
So for the I looked up what kind of birds were out there. You know what I mean? Because in jiu-jitsu, this is a very long way off. Yeah. This is a very almost ambitious and hoity-toity way. I think big of myself that I'll be a black belt one day. But God willing, I will be. And so if you should get to that point and you kind of validate yourself, you can get an avatar, right? And so then hypothetically, you could say have your own school or whatever, right? And so I was like, and I allowed myself to kind of fantasize about such things, what would it be? I'm like, well, obviously it would be a bird, right? Because that nickname is not going anywhere. No. But then I looked up bird. Did you know that the bearded eagle... Have you heard of the bearded eagle?
No, I've never heard of the bearded eagle.
Bearded eagle eats the bones of the dead.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Nothing more metal than that. I was like, oh. And then it looks badass. It's got like a red beard kind of going. And it looks kind of vulture-ish, right? Yeah. And so, but it feasts on the bones of the dead. It just seemed no more badass.
That's pretty badass.
Right?
That's badass.
So, and it'll be like, I'm thinking of like He-Man. And like there was the bad guy, the bird guy from He-Man, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that vibe, kind of, seeing you kind of,
You should put the, have you ever watched that Netflix show, Cobra Kai?
Of course. Yeah.
You know the was it the eagle fangs? Or something
With
like
the
that.
kid.
Yeah, you should have like the eagle fangs logo on there.
Bro, that's all I need.
It's like eagles don't have fangs.
They don't have fangs. That's a terrible idea. No, I mean I'm living my own Karate Kid. Really.
Oh, yeah,
you know, just some middle-aged fantasy. I'm listening to like hair metal on the way to the gym.
I think it's awesome.
Getting my jacket from 1985. I don't give a shit. It's fine. It's fine.
You just need to like drive in like a Trans Am.
Oh, God bless it, bro. Listen to me, dude. You know I made it.
Yes.
When this little bit of back something I got going goes full mullet, right? Super jacked. We're definitely going super jacked. Really tan, like aggressively tan, right? You know that's my move. And it's going to be, like a Thunderbird or Fiber or something, right?
Oh, you have to.
Just
you know what
wait.
you should do one time? You should go into the gym dressed up like the guy in Napoleon Dynamite. What's his name? Rex Kwando. Is that his name? Rex Kwando?
I think so, yeah.
Like U.S. pants.
Right.
Pants.
You know what's funny?
Bandana.
The my buddy Brenton, black belt over at JG MMA, shout out. He sent me a picture. I think we were talking about music or guitar or something like that. And he just sent me a picture or whatever. But he has those pants. Those are his pajama pants. I'm like, what's with the pants, bro? He's like, Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. It's the best.
So anyways, we started off with the Canadian tuxedo. That's quality entertainment. It is. I can't get away from it. I don't watch football, guys. Okay, big shocker. I'm happy when somebody names a city and I'm like, ooh, that's the Ravens. Like I get excited that I actually
knew the team name.
I don't know anything about it. So there's just all this stuff in the ether, right? And you can't escape it. And I try to keep up because, business, I want to like be in the know. Hey guys, what about those dolphins? I don't know. Right.
What about those eagle fangs?
Yeah. Eagle fangs.
Make up some shit.
From Bayonne, New Jersey.
Just lean into the fact that you don't know it at all. Like you watch the you're walking to the Super Bowl with the eagle fangs. And,
Eagle fangs are killing it, bro. Bob Smith as the quarterback.
But you just got to ride it like to the point where like people are like, is he serious?
Is he really serious? Is there? They're like checking their book.
Like don't even like laugh at all. Just be like, man, I got money on those eagle fangs.
They better not. They better not screw it up this year. Right. We're going all the way. Otherwise, I look stupid with this tattoo. Does he know it's not even a team?
Right.
This guy's an idiot. I need some of his marketing though. I don't mind watching it. I watched with my buddies growing up in our band. Phillips said, shout out. They were huge Yankees fans, right? Two of the guys in the band, Frank and Phil. And so we go over, especially me and my buddy Mike, go over to the house. I don't know who's playing.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't give a shit. All I know is there's Miller High Life in the fridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Their moms were good cooks. There's probably something in the fridge. Yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah. I don't know. But for years we just go like, what are you doing tonight? Going to watch Super Bowl, going to watch the,
where
the big
did
game,
your whole,
whatever.
Like, at what age did you decide that you just don't like sports? Or was that a decision that you made? Or you just never had an interest?
Never. No, so the only thing
did you play sports growing up?
I played a little bit of soccer.
Okay.
Right? I was in second grade.
Yeah.
Can't remember the kid's name, but I was in second or third grade. And there was this kid on my bus. He was a year younger. Nice enough kid. But he's a really good soccer player. Like really, really, really good. Right? So he was on the opposing team. And I'm dribbling, I don't even know. I don't know strategies for the game. I don't know anything.
You're playing kickball out there.
I had no idea what I was doing. But my coach was god awful at the time. And he just was, I guess I was the fastest kid or something because I was all over the place. Anyways, so I remember dribbling and it was just a little too far away. And this other kid was playing maybe defense of some kind, right? And sweeper perhaps, and kicked the ball with all of his might right into my face and broke my glasses.
Oh no.
And like really, it really jacked me up pretty good. And so people were laughing on the sideline. Anyways, that was the end of that.
Still trauma, Chris.
It ain't worth it. This is
You ever
stupid.
see that? There's that reel where they show this kid in the little league soccer match, and one kid he kicks the ball, hits the other kid in the face. He gets that ball back, kicks it, and hits the other kid in the nuts. And like just one after one, it's like dominoes. These kids.
That's awesome.
And you can hear the parents are like, "Oh,
Yep, yep,
love it."
yep. Yeah, that was me. So yeah, no, sports
Just
is dumb.
didn't really capture your attention. Nothing. We
I
played football was every day, every weekend, certainly.
We played street tackle football,
and we did that
but
too.
I grew up. It's Jersey, and if you're not in the know, you think Jersey is like Bayonne and Newark and Trenton and Camden. No, it's like the Garden State, right? Yeah. So there's. I grew up, and I always say it took an hour to walk around my block, and there was like 20 houses on the whole block.
Okay.
Right? So everything's a country mile. So anyways, there was nobody around, right? So luckily, a good number of the kids were like generally my age. So yeah, we got to play in, street tackle and stuff like that. But I didn't really know or understand.
Was your dad not into sports?
Not really. And my parents owned a donut shop.
Okay.
So they were always working.
They was working. So that could have been, because I know.
Yeah.
See, me, I grew up with all older brothers, and we always played sports in the backyard. So it's kind of like you're growing into it. I mean, it was a point in my life where sports was like an obsession, just watching it, playing it. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the whole, street tackle. Like kids nowadays, man, those are the days, man.
Yeah,
we were playing tackle football on the street.
It's fine.
How fucked up is that?
It's fine.
It was fine.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, it was fine. I remember this one time I was pissed off at this one kid, and so I'm like, okay, guys, just kick off the ball, but kick it to that kid. I'll take care of the rest. Yeah. So they kick the ball off. This kid, he's mad too. We're both mad because we had like some scuffle,
some beef,
like the play before.
Yeah.
And so he's running like really hard. He's gonna steamroll me. We're on the street, mind you.
Yeah.
So he's like, I can see him coming. I literally, I just moved off to the side. Tripped him, dude.
Oh yeah,
slid on the concrete. Feels, marked up from head to toe type of thing.
He's got like road rash, like he fell off a Harley.
Yeah, I was laughing so hard. Yeah. But to his credit, he got back up. He's like, pissed off. He's ready to play. You know, we're just going after each other. Yeah, on the concrete.
That's what it was.
That's just what we would play anywhere. Yeah. Of course, we weren't playing on concrete all the time. We were playing in the back fields as well. But
it was
wherever we could play. Just play. I don't know. For me, I grew up. Football was a big deal.
Or so around here too, man. Like I've noticed, there's a notable difference.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's easier to throw a rock around here and be like not just fans. Like it's Yankees out there. And I mean, of course, there's plenty of football fans. It's just that not everybody, like out here, man, like my kid's in football and like I got like the season pass thing and I got the RV hooked up and I got the all of it. Right. It's all going on, right? For the sake of the football, for the sake of the wrestling, right? All that kind of thing. Yeah. Jersey, maybe it just was my world, but not so much.
Well, what's the sport did you guys root for there, though?
All the typical stuff.
Like, okay, sorry. What's the team? Let's say because Super Bowl's coming up. What's the team?
So
majority of
remember,
people
so I grew up in Central Jersey, right, which is like 195, right across like a belt. So my friends Frank and Phil were Yankees fans. Usually, if you had a New York accent, you know what I mean, Yankees fans, right? Mets, if you're kind of weird, right? Or it was going to be the Eagles, right?
Okay.
But it was very much like, where are you in the state?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then us folks in the Central, it was kind of like, if you had family from New York, you're probably a Knicks fan. So it really depends. You know
I wonder if that's also the case too. Like, we have the Cleveland Browns up in Cleveland, or you have the Ohio State Buckeyes,
right?
Or
Bengals down here,
And so like, and there's not a whole lot of things to do. So hey, this is something that we root for, and it's local. I'm a Clevelander. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to support the team, even if I don't really like it. I'm going to still support it because it represents Cleveland.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
that is
a combination of things for you. I'm just always interested in that. Yeah. But you're not the only one. I know a few friends of mine who just don't get into, or they did get into sports, but they don't get into sports in general now, just because as you get older, I got more time. Yeah, I need that time to do house stuff or practice.
Yeah,
on things,
I mean,
you know, just
forget about it now. But I mean, honest, like once I saw like those early like Warrant and Ozzy and like music, I was
got into music.
Oh, those girls exist. All right. Maybe I should learn the guitar. Because I'm never gonna be 6'6".
Well, it's like Hannah. I told her when we get married, there's only one thing. You have to like the Cleveland Browns, and you have to switch your allegiance from the Michigan
was that like
Wolverines.
A clause or something, bro? Did you put it
Michigan Wolverines? You got to change it to Ohio State Buckeyes. I said because I will not live in a house divided. I was like, I don't care about anything else you believe in. I don't give a shit. When I'm not thinking about work, family, or life, which is a lot, I still, in between every crack in my day, I'm thinking Browns, and more Browns. And there's Buckeyes in the championships or in the playoffs, so I'll think about that. But
I don't do it. Yeah, I don't do it. That's weird, man. Isn't that what, you know what it makes me think of is the old where they take the jar, they put a bunch of rocks, and then they put pebbles and then sand, and
put
then
the
water,
big rocks first,
right?
Yeah.
And like what as you're saying that, I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. So your water in that analogy, your water is the Browns, right? And I'm thinking, like, what the hell?
And it just washes over me. Like, it takes my mind off of everything else.
Yeah.
Which is hard because Browns suck. So,
damn, man.
It's like, it would be different if it was like the Kansas City Chiefs who are playing
a dynasty.
It's like,
team.
My life sucks, but at least I got this team to.
Anchor.
It's just like, life's hard. And
that sucks too.
It's like, kick a man when he's down type
just
thing.
Getting kicked in the dick.
But hey, I love my Brownies. Love them. It's representative of me. We just work our best, try to do our best. We may never get to the top, but there it is. That's okay.
There it is. Well, all right. So that's the grit.
We still show up.
That's the brand of the team, as we have
grit.
Discussed before.
Yeah,
that's the brand. Yep. I don't. With fighters, as I've gotten older, past like 10 to 15 years, and I've gotten in the UFC. There's certain fighters where I love, like a blood and guts fighter. A couple other not as an insult, but just like like a 60% fighter, a journeyman fighter, something like that. And it's like they weren't ever going to be champion, but man, their fights, like if I ever need like inspiration or cheering up, like Chris the Crippler Lieben, bro, he gets, I don't even know the fight. He's fighting some dude who had some hype like back in the day. He gets a solid hit in the jaw, backs him up to the cage, and he has this look on his face of like anger and confusion, right? Where he's like, did you just hit me that hard? You son of a bitch. And he just starts walking forward like a zombie, throwing like looping hooks and knocked the other guy clean out. It was astonishing.
That's what he needed. He just needed that like wake up call. He's like, okay, now
we're in a fight.
We're done. Yeah.
Oh, we're actually going to fight. No. I got you. Yeah. Like there's something about those moments where you're like, what in the what? Stephan Bonner, rest in peace, Stephan Bonner. Another one, right? Wasn't the greatest. But just blood and guts, like he, if he starts bleeding, you're like, all right, he's awake now. There's something.
I could get in all of it.
Yeah,
like I just love competition. Was it Conor McGregor's commercial? A long time ago, he had his commercial that said, "It's not a passion, it's an obsession." Like that's what his his tag mantra was on the commercial.
Yeah,
it's not a passion, it's an obsession. And I'm like that got me thinking for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Because I start thinking like, okay, what am I really obsessed about? Like, how do I know if I'm obsessed with something? Yeah. Because I could be passionate about, but obsession is different. Yeah. It's like
I have to do it.
You'll forget to eat. You'll forget to sleep. You're just constantly
nothing better than I can't. Yeah. That's when my day is humming, man. I go to sleep at night, my head hits the pillow, and I'm genuinely for a change. I'm like, relaxed. Feel like I put enough effort in.
Yeah.
Right. There's like better than 50% of the time. I'm like, I could have got that done. I should have done that.
Yeah.
But every now and again, where it's like, no, I don't even remember eating today. I just, just went by. I love those days, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I think that's work. I could easily be like a workaholic.
Yeah.
That's just how I love what I do. It's exciting. I'm learning new things all the time.
Yeah.
Think about all the different clients we have, and you're learning new industries. So for me, it's like the consummate learner in me.
Yeah.
I just get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always liked that commercial because it just reminded me, okay, what am I really obsessed about? And how do you know if you're obsessed about things? I remember having a conversation with my brother about that.
Yeah.
Just like how do you get obsessed about something? Because there's some people I think that they kind of wander through life just like,
not obsessed, man. They don't ever get that nut.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just live through life, and I'm like, I don't get that.
I don't get it.
I don't understand that.
You know what, man? And I'm no like, I'd be sitting on a mountain of gold and have all this notoriety, and my life's had many a path, but I know that I have that in me. I have that weird.
I could definitely see you have this
put it down kind of vibe to me, and this obsession. And now that I understand what it is, I used to think that it was restricted to musicians, right? Because I knew that world first well.
Yeah.
And so I knew what it was to be obsessed as a player, right? And then, of course, I ran into people that were like, like I boxed a little, and then you run into a pro, you're like, oh, shit. Yeah. You really do, Yeah. But be that as it may, I still know obsession. So I didn't really get it until I got into other things, and then saw like fighters, for example, where I do a little jiu-jitsu, totally a hobbyist, no aspirations. But then I see people that like you will not be able to beat them. Yeah. Like they will take that to bed at night really hard, and like it's really who they are that you're not gonna win against them.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the personality trait, and you kind of see it, you're like, oh man. Yeah. It's almost on the one side, it's almost petty. It's like, dude, who gives a shit? It's fine.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, get over it. But on the flip side, it's like, well, that's kind of what it takes to be that good.
But then there's that little bit of, but then I have that obsession.
Got it.
Right? Because that's what gets you through the hard days. Right? Because it's just not fun to keep training every day.
No.
Your body, it's just, everybody's human. But when you have the obsession, bit in you, like I don't care, I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I have to do. I'm gonna get there, Yeah, that's why I love the stories of sports. I love the storylines. Right. To me, it's kind of like WWE. Really, it's just drama.
Right.
At the end of the day,
it's just soap opera.
It's just soap opera for guys. And you hear all the storylines. You people complain about the refs. Oh, the refs, they suck. It's just a drama,
right?
It's what's the soap operas that All in a Day or Days of Our Lives?
Days of Our Lives,
right?
yeah.
It's kind of like that for me.
Something
to take my mind off of things. Right. Although I will say I have gotten better at like if the Browns are getting crushed, which is often, I stop watching it. Not because I'm not loyal, but because two things. One is the time. Like, okay, if they're if they're getting crushed, this is just a waste of time from the standpoint of I have other chores I have to do.
Okay.
So I can't justify from that. But even more so than that, like I just am angry like the rest of the night, and that's not fair to the family. Right. It's like just don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
Right.
That
ain't gonna do.
Like, and like that's not fair to them.
Right.
I'm just frustrated. So if they're not doing well, I'll say okay. I watched. I got my taste, and I'm done. I'll listen to it in my podcast on Monday.
I mean, how many games did they win though?
Well, last year they won a lot. This
year
they stunk. Yeah, they made it to the playoffs last year, but this year they just blew it. Only won 3 games. So I'm like, nope, I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to have that impact my family.
Damn.
Because it's just not worth it. I mean, again, family obviously fresh in the Browns, but
yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl, just because it's like that unofficial holiday, something to watch.
It's exciting.
Yeah, but I actually look forward to the commercials. At least this time around. I would be a lot more excited if it was like I wanted Buffalo Bills to play, and I wanted some team like, I don't know, Detroit Lions to play.
Why?
Just because you never see those teams.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Buffalo, when have they won anything? Like,
I don't know.
Detroit, when have they won anything? Okay,
I don't know.
No, they won in basketball years ago in the 80s and 90s, but so it's just see different faces, different teams. It's the same team.
Some
They
low
played
key shade right there. I think they won in
years.
the 80s. I don't know.
A couple years, but see, I'm a Browns fan, so this is how fucked up it is. Oh, I want to see the Buffalo and Detroit play in the Super Bowl, but somehow I want there to be like an earthquake and the game never finishes and no one ever wins.
Haters, bro.
Because misery loves company.
Right.
I never want any of them to win.
Right. You should suffer the way I suffer.
Suffer. At least we'll suffer together. So it's funny because as much as I do want it, the moment Detroit lost, I'm like, yeah. Yes, suffer.
Just
because they can say, Detroit fans can say, oh yeah, but at least we went further than you. I don't care. You still didn't win
lost.
the Super Bowl. Yeah.
In fact, that's worse. You went further and still lost.
And still lost.
Got a sting.
Yeah. At least we know we just are losers. You thought that you had hope. Man. I'm that guy.
That's not the vibes you want to put out, bro.
No.
Just saying.
Yeah. But I'm looking for it. I like the commercials though. Probably like this year, I'll probably be watching the commercials more.
So all right. So on the idea of commercials, I never.
Not that I like commercials better than the game. It's just that
it's an additive.
I'm not as interested in these teams. It'll be fun to see them win. Whoever wins, but I'm as a marketer and an advertiser, I want to see the fun, creative stories that they tell.
So I'm 44, right? So I'm born in 81. So like. I have only ever known that Super Bowl commercials were like, it was a thing, I didn't know. I've not realized that like, no, that kind of evolved.
Yeah.
It wasn't always that way. Mm-mm. I just kind of assumed that like, I don't know how to articulate it, but like the Super Bowl is an American institution. Mm-hmm. It is an American event. Yeah. And the numbers of people watching are like tens of millions.
Yeah.
Right. So a double digit, so has been the past, a double digit percentage or thereabouts of the American population watches.
Yep.
By the way, this ain't shit compared to UFC in Brazil, where there's like 80 million people watching.
Ooh, that's crazy.
A main fight. But anyways, so but the Super Bowl, big deal.
Yeah, but it
here,
doesn't
right?
get the type of promotion
right
nationwide and,
right.
International.
International law.
Like I didn't even know they had that. You
right.
get 80 million people watch it.
In Brazil alone.
Right. I'm saying
that's
in Brazil.
staggering.
But like, right. I don't know.
So it's such an institution. My whole life, I kind of always, I don't know what happened before me. All I know is I see like Joe Namath and whomever else, right. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's old timey, right? But it was the games themselves that I would see the highlights and oh yeah, that's Hollywood Joe and the fridge and all these other names of, yesterday and all this. And then I'm
fridge?
Like,
dang.
Yeah. And like
William Perry, baby.
Is the name.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Police Academy, and all these other
Hightower.
Kinds of things. Yeah, Hightower. So anyways, but those names, right, live in the past, but the commercials that went along with, and all the pageantry and all the hoopla that went along with the Super Bowl in, say, the 70s, as an example. I barely know when they started the Super Bowls, but in the 70s, like, it wasn't like that. And I never knew that at all. It wasn't until recently. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess
that's when things started picking up for the Super Bowl, and it was in the 70s and started becoming more popular in the 80s. But yeah, they might have played football back in the day when they were wearing like leather helmets. Yeah. They would play football, but that was definitely not something they pursued as a career. That was something they did as like a collegiate intramural type of thing.
Yeah. Just like rowing.
Yeah, and it was big. Like college football was big even back then.
Bigger. Yeah, that's what I understood.
It was bigger.
Yeah, it was bigger.
Because then after that, like, what, I'm going to go play the pros? There's no money there. There's, I got to work, get my career going. Yeah. Right? And so for the longest time, college football, and even till this day, I mean, college football is huge. Right?
Super huge.
Still huge.
Yeah.
But back then, the thought of going into the pros wasn't that a high priority for people. Where do you get the money? And then slowly, right, they were able to gain some footing in the pros, and then they had two leagues, AFL, NFL, and then eventually in the, like, I think 60s, 70s, they combined the leagues,
right?
And then now they have the Super Bowl, etc. But so But back then, just like the evolution of the popularity of the sports grew and changed, the advertising was more expensive and more effective during college football games than in pro games.
Right.
And so it wasn't until like the whole story about the Apple computer
85, 84?
1984.
Yeah.
When they were trying to get Apple off the ground, right? Initially, the investors of the board, they agreed to have like a commercial during college football season.
Which would have been the preferred situation.
Preferred situation.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of money. There was a lot of hesitation. Should we spend this kind of money to do this?
Right.
And so they said, no. Let's look into the pro, the pro scene is cheaper to get into pro football during a Super Bowl game, a Super Bowl halftime show or what have you. Like they would play the commercial then. Yeah. But at that time, Steve Jobs, I guess the way the story goes, my understanding is they were told not to play that commercial, like to not have that commercial because of cost and et cetera. And yet Steve was like, kind of, what did you say? I don't hear you. Like, go ahead, run the commercial.
Yeah.
And they ran the commercial. And ever since then, that kind of created the spark of this cultural phenomenon of the advertising in the Super Bowl advertising in culture.
Yeah.
And so, and ever since then, it became huge.
What it is now.
The amount of the money spent is like unreal. I think I saw like in the 70s, like an ad was like maybe 30,000 for a commercial ad.
Yeah.
Like in the 70s, and then now it's like what in
millions,
multi-millions just for
per
one
minute.
One ad for like 30 seconds or something like that. Right. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
But that's how many viewers are watching it. But have you ever looked up the Apple commercial, the 1984 Apple commercial?
Now that was had a great director, right? That was wasn't that Ridley Scott? Yes. Or am I thinking of something else? Was that him?
Yeah.
And it was like a mini movie vibe, right?
Yeah, mini movie. Yeah. So it was like a mini movie vibe. And basically you had all these like black and white, this is like in black and white, and you had all these people in a movie theater kind of wearing these shades, and they're all dressed up in like suits.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to represent like corporate America, represent IBM, who was really popular at the time. And then in comes running in this female wearing, I think it was like red shorts and a white tank top. And of course she was probably attractive. I can't remember the face. It's been so long.
Right.
But then she swings this mallet basically, and into the movie theater screen, and thus kind of sharing this whole like they're breaking the barriers, they're breaking the way things are done, and all of a sudden cause this intrigue for people like, oh wow, Apple computers, which is always funny to me because back then Apple computers, even when that commercial came out, was so lame, but somehow Steve Jobs thought like, hey, that is the future. And so we got to have this hot chick running in the theater, throwing this mallet, saying, "Let's break the walls down. Let's break all that down and look at it differently." And ever since then, it changed.
Momentous.
Yeah.
Right. Paradigm shifting. Yeah. It's interesting when, again, right. It's like we are so far past all that now. Right. I mean, I was just a little kid with that moment. That it is just now an institution, right? It's just a given that the halftime show is going to be a ridiculous, mega big deal, right? In fact, the halftime show, along with the commercials, but the halftime show itself is like, it's like fertile ground for myth making, for legend creation. I'm thinking
just
of
the halftime
Prince.
Show itself, Prince. Come on now.
In the Rain,
come on,
bro,
now. Prince. Yeah.
And then I only know that because I love Prince.
Yeah.
But I saw that it's like an 11-minute video on YouTube or something, a little NFL something they put out. But yeah, it's raining out, and the one dude was like, the odds of this, it's only ever rained once on a Super Bowl, and blah blah blah. And then against all odds, it's raining. And Prince was so cool. He was like, "Can you make it rain more?" Come on, bro. And then goes out, kills it, flawless. Rain. My favorite part in that scene, he has his do-rag going, and he's looking sharp, of course, because he's Prince. And it's in between. Maybe he's getting into the verse of a song or whatever, but he rips off the do-rag.
Yeah.
And he's approaching that verse, and he just takes a hot second to tidy his hair up. Come on, bro. Come on. Just to be so smooth with it and have the wherewithal. Come on.
Think of the professionalism in that consummate entertainer you have to be to say, it's raining. I don't care.
Good.
I'm going out there and I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so discouraged. Like, oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Of all days, God, you had to have it rain on my day.
It's perfect.
No.
And then the close with Purple Rain,
yeah.
and everybody's drenched, and you're just...
Yeah, it was the best.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, but anyways,
or what about, what's it, Janet Jackson,
yep.
Justin Timberlake.
Yep, got them titties
wardrobe.
Coming out.
They made, like, wardrobe malfunction a buzzword.
Come on, bro.
That was
I guess you don't have a pasty on because you're like, whoops.
Yeah. Why would you just grab that and just, like, rip it?
Yeah.
Why would you even grab it anyways?
Why would you?
Let alone
that's
pull on it.
It's a 45-year-old titty, man.
No.
You can't. Yeah. Come on, dude. That's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite though, more recent favorite was it 3 Super Bowls ago when Dr. Dre,
and 50 Cent,
Eminem, 50 Cent,
yeah.
Snoop Dogg. Come on, the whole time I was just like,
I'm crip walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's moments like that myth making, legend creation, and it doesn't exist without this thing that it's grown into. Like, it used to be college football. That's what it was. But here we are, like 40 years later, after Apple. It's massive. Yeah. Couldn't be any more massive.
I remember where I'm at for most of the Super Bowls that I actually watched myself. I have those memories. Like, I remember, because growing up especially, I was a huge 49er fan because, I had my AFC team, the Browns, so naturally, and then I had my NFC team. And my family's from the Bay Area growing up, so they'd always send me gifts like, 49er apparel.
Yeah.
And
they're
so
red and gold?
Red and gold, yeah.
My buddy Steve, Cup of Coffee, is a big 49ers fan.
Yeah, it was easy for me to be a fan of theirs. And I remember, like, saying prayers and because they're behind, and yet they come back to beat the Bengals, in the last minute. And then another Super Bowl, they're going against Bengals last minute again, last second they go and beat the Bengals again. That's why I've always hated the Bengals.
Damn.
And here I'm in Cincinnati. It's like, fuck the Bengals and all these fans,
bro.
Because I'm a Browns fan and I was a 49er fan who beat the Bengals. All this, but I remember what was the halftime show. I remember the feeling. I remember sitting there praying.
Bengals are all right. I don't know.
I remember when the Giants beat New England Patriots,
right?
And like they had no business beating New England Patriots. They were undefeated the whole season, and they ended up beating with the miraculous catch where the receiver caught it in his helmet.
That's wild.
To keep the play extended, they had to get this first down, and the guy catches it on his head, gets tackled, and holds it on his head.
That's bananas.
Because he was like, "No, we got it." He had to catch it. And it's like I remember, I was like, "Yeah."
Those are those moments, man. That's what I don't know anything about sports. I don't know, but those moments that kind of transcend your entry level info to enjoy it, those are the ones where I'm like, I can't believe I just saw that.
Yeah.
That's worth watching.
Every year, I started this tradition a few years ago, but every year when we go to Vegas, I always buy Browns winning the Super Bowl, $100. Just for the kids. So far, I'm so much in the deficit. But it's my one hope. Yes, I got the stuff.
So you're putting a hundo down on the off chance
that they win.
What's the payout even? Do you remember the last couple payouts?
The last payout was not that much. It was like, I think $5,000 or something like that. Like really low. If they ever go to Super Bowl, I don't give a shit. I'm going. I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go, and if I can't afford it, I'm walking around the stadium, like listening to it on my phone.
What's that one story? I think it's Old Testament where they go around the city, right, and then it falls because they're chanting. That's that's wild, man.
Yeah.
That's
what
wild.
were some of the commercials that you remember growing up as a kid?
A lot of Budweiser, right? I remember the Clydesdales with the dog, right? That's a good one, kind of emotional. M&Ms are hilarious.
Oh, the M&M ones are good.
When
I love the Dorito commercials.
Doritos are good, yeah.
One of my favorite ones was the one where a guy and his wife or what have you were in like doing an ultrasound to check on their baby.
Okay.
In the meantime, the husband is like eating Dorito chips in the room, and the lady, his wife is like all frustrated, like what are you doing eating those chips? You know, he's like, what? And then as he's like pulling chips out, he sees in the ultrasound monitor the baby move. So he's like, huh. So he does it again, and he keeps moving it, and the baby's moving. He's like, what? And so then she gets mad, grabs the chips out, and chucks it like in front of her across the room. And all of a sudden, the baby's just here, like, shoot out.
That's awesome.
Odd.
That's awesome.
That's the best.
Yeah. You know what's weird is like these days, like for a long time now, funny commercials is where it's at. And like, I don't even like commercials unless they're funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the use of humor, whereas if you like look way back, commercials we've seen, you know, from like the 60s or something like that, man, they're so straight and so boring.
Yeah.
And like it's almost like our sense of comedy and satire and sarcasm and all that type of stuff is like elevated now. You know, it's just evolved.
Yeah.
Like we get it.
Yeah.
Make us laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I may or may not buy Doritos, but I still like the commercial.
Like humor is like huge in the Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
There's the other one where trying to think, it's a Pringles commercial where the Pringle Mr. P whatever on the logo with the mustache.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
is talking to the guy who's eating Pringles. He's like blow in the can. You know, he's like, what? He's like, just blowing it. So all of a sudden he goes, ooh, and it's basically like a horn.
Right.
And they show all these celebrities and stuff, their mustaches rip off their face and start flying towards the can. It's like a calling out for those mustaches. Right. But they did a whole promo on just like the iconic Mr. P the little mustache.
Oh, that's funny.
And so you just see like Harding, basketball player, they call him the beard.
Right.
His mustache flies off.
That's
the guy
funny.
from
Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it. That was my opportunity to shine, bro.
Yeah.
I know a couple people.
Yes.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, there you go. He's good to know. Shaq, you know Shaq.
Of course I know Shaq.
You have to know MJ.
Dr. O'Neal.
You got to know the King, LeBron James.
Yeah.
You got to know Kobe Bryant.
I think I heard
these
of
names
him.
that you
LeBron James and his lace front.
That's all you know about him?
It's just a hilarious meme because there's like, you know, you see his teammates like, hey, man, check your thing. You know, you'd think he'd afford a little something can stick on. But anyways.
I loved all those commercials.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. The Super Bowl commercials definitely are traditionally like humorous.
Right.
But have you ever seen like Olympic commercials? It's a lot different. It's more inspirational.
Yeah.
It talks about the journey. These people are taking these journeys. Or it's so like tear-jerking though. Like P&G, a lot of Procter & Gamble's commercials during Olympics is very mom focused because the mom waking up in the morning, taking his kid to the hockey, to practice hockey, putting on their jerseys and praising mom.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like completely different.
Yeah, there's no joking about the Olympics. Yeah,
I don't understand people who don't get into Olympics either. By the way, just from the standpoint of like, just got to root for our country, man.
Depends on the event.
Got to root for our country.
So, you know what? I'll be honest. Whenever the Olympics are going down, I get the. I don't know if I get the app, but I'll save on my phone. I'll save the page with all the count.
The medals count.
And like just whenever there's downtime around Olympic season, I'm having a lunch thing or a business thing or whatever. Like, hey, we got another one. Yeah. That's cool.
It.
I can dig that.
I just want to see USA dominate in the world stage and everything.
Yeah, see those beach volleyball events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other commercials during the Super Bowl that I'm always looking forward to seeing are when Marvel presents their next movie, the trailer for the next Marvel movie.
Right.
Especially back then when we were waiting for them to highlight the Avengers trailer. It's like, shh, I gotta see this. Because I'm just like dying to see the next. The next Avengers movie. So I don't know what they're highlighting this season, but I'm sure they're highlighting some Marvel movies. So
I don't even pay attention, man. I don't even know. The last movies I've seen ads for that hit me were horror movies because Valentine's Day is coming up. But I don't know.
Horror movies because Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah, bro. You know about that?
No, I don't know about.
Come
that.
on, freaking advertising guy over here. You don't know about that shit? Look,
no, I don't know about that,
dude. Quintessential
Educate me.
Valentine's Day movies are horror movies. Really? If you look at the release date, right, it's just like Christmas time for movies.
Really?
Yeah. So horror movies, because nowadays, and certainly back in the day, there's like drive-thrus and stuff like that, right? You go with your old lady, scary movie. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Right?
Really?
Yeah, man.
Hold on to me, baby.
Yeah. I got you, girl, in my Trans Am with this jacket and the mullet tuxedo just flapping about in the wind. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
I can see that.
What's in the radio of this scene? I bet it's like Van Halen, 1984 album, maybe something like that, with like a white cassette. That's my world, dude.
I never knew that. I guess that's interesting.
Yeah, pretty typical. Yeah, horror movies, obviously Halloween, but Valentine's Day and sometimes Christmas.
Typically, it's like movie trailers I like to see, and it's just how funny can companies get in terms of their advertisements. I love it. I love Geico. Geico usually always has some fun stuff.
Brilliant. The best at it. I like when things are. There was a. I think that it was E-Trade. It might have been something else, but it was a commercial where it was just like a frozen screen, pretty much. And I remember it was like the color, the banded color, like when you test the TV screen, you know. And I'm pretty sure it was E-Trade, but whatever it was, right? It stuck in my head for a mighty long time.
Yeah,
because you're basically paying gobs of money, right? And the play ought to be like something real slick and flashy and this, that, and really well thought out. And then they just went totally the opposite. They're like, yeah, that ain't going to do it. To hell with it. Here, look, this is what we're paying for. We're just going to put this logo here. You should go check it out. Works brilliantly. Right. So I like when they take an idea to kind of flip it on their heads. There's been a couple of those where they like kind of, instead of going so big, they go super low rent guerrilla style.
Because if everybody's going over here, we're going to go this direction. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I like
what
those
about,
ideas.
remember the days when GoDaddy used to have those like sexy commercials?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what the hell they did.
Like porn. Yeah. Like and during the Super Bowl.
I had no idea what they did.
Moly. Or Carl's Jr. They would do the same thing. They'd have these very scantily clad women dance. Right. Now, have you ever gone to GoDaddy website now? It's like so different. 180 degree, turn the opposite direction.
Really?
Professional. None of that. Whereas before, when they came out, when GoDaddy came out, man, you go on a website, you see women on there.
That's wild, man.
Dressed up in like these tank tops that go right just below their chest
man.
there.
That's how they do it, man. Like Joe Rogan's podcast.
I bet you there's a lot of lawsuits, and they're like, no, we can't.
Yeah, we're just giving money away at this point.
Yeah.
Rogan's podcast is sponsored by the Fleshlight for a long time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. A long time. And I'm like, man, that's a hell of a thing. But as it got bigger, obviously they went another route. I'm sure other people got more money. I'm not mad at it. But like looking back, you're like, they kind of did away with that. Yeah. They kind of, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So yeah, the funny ones, everybody loves the funny ones. There's tons of examples. The more super serious ones, pulling at the heartstrings. Was maybe like the Arms of the Angel, Sarah McLachlan. Did they ever throw that kind of stuff on the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I don't think that one. Because that would have been like one of those
that shit.
SPCA type.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had that kind
of money. Yeah,
that's pretty intense.
Or what if they don't need the money though? They just guilt the shit out of them to put it in. They're like, hey, can you guys help support the dogs? And they're like, no, listen, it's $1 million a minute and blah blah blah. Oh, really? So you don't like dogs? And they like start getting on a dude's wife. They're like sending them commercials with all this sad music, and then he's hearing it, at home. Honey, you should just put the dogs in, okay? I care about dogs. We own dogs. God,
it reminds me. You ever seen that reel where the guy is like, he swipes his card into the credit card machine, and then there's a little thing that says, "Donate. Would you like to donate money to this dog foundation, whatever?"
Right.
And he's like, no. And the next thing says, "So you don't like dogs?"
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Like, no, I do like dogs. Like, so, and it basically says he's looking away, and it comes up, "Don't look away, look at me." So
that's how I feel, man. I feel that.
So basically, you're saying you're a loser. He's like, yes. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel super guilted, man, when I'm at it's Petco, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And they have that same thing. Would you like to donate? And you're like,
so how do you feel, by the way, like when you go nowadays, everywhere you go, would you like to donate, round up?
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't care who's looking.
I hate doing it too.
I don't give a shit. Good. You know what? And I'll look, the person in the eye, because they're probably judging you. You know what I mean? They got nothing going on. They're just sitting there pissed at me that they're still at work. No.
That assumes
ever.
that it could be tomorrow.
Not ever.
But it's not tomorrow either.
No.
That's how I do it. No, not today.
Oh, not today. Get it? No.
You're just saying
you're not getting my money ever. Still paying off loans, homie. I'm not doing it. I don't care.
I shouldn't even say that because I was one of those privileged kids my parents paid for. Like, fuck you. My parents paid for mine.
I'm not doing it. No.
Yeah.
No,
that's like...
No, I don't care what it says, man. Yeah, I don't... Ooh, don't try to guilt me with your commercial or your ad or something. Ooh, that bothers me. Yeah. Not get me on that shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of commercials. I mean, the Snickers commercials.
Yep.
I love that one.
Ooh, Betty White.
Yeah, the Betty White one. I love that one.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, you're playing like Betty White.
Damn. She's a funny lady.
Yeah.
Dude, her roast, she was on a couple of roasts. Comedy Central roast, because they had a good run. Like Charlie Sheen was in it. Who else? Mike Tyson, Donald Trump. Like a good run there for a couple years. And she was going in, bro. Yeah. Like, damn. Yeah, she was a funny lady.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, her career was just like...
What a weird arc.
Yeah.
What a super weird arc.
Amazing.
I love the Golden Girls. So Snickers, that's a good one.
All the like insurance companies, they always have stuff. Allstate.
Yeah.
What's the guy, the mascot dude? He's like he's the chaos guy or whatever.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
From Oz, from that show Oz. The hell's that for?
It's an insurance company. I'm trying to remember.
It's not Liberty. Not that one. It's like National.
Yeah, that was like Liberty Bibberty. Like, no,
it's that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That guy cracks me up.
Yeah.
Or the Old Spice guy.
Oh, the Old Spice commercials are great.
Or he's like a centaur or something. Yeah. You're like, brilliant.
Look like me. No, look.
So good. That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's an interesting case study.
Yeah.
Just how Old Spice revived their brand.
Yeah.
Because remember when I remember my vision and my understanding of Old Spice was when my dad or older folks, you'd always see that like classic Old Spice bottle with that little twisty top.
Yeah, like a mature. I'm getting gray in the beard now. Right. I got to settle down and get my shit together.
Right.
I got Old Spice. I'm sensible.
But then somehow, like whoever they hired or whatever firm they brought on, they're like, what? We gotta change it up.
The body lotions, there's like an octopus on it. It's called the Kraken. I like that one. It smells good. Yeah.
And then they just kind of revived their brand.
Brilliant move.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it's interesting too because the name is still the same, Old Spice.
Right.
It could have been easy to say, well, if you're going to revive the brand, you got to change the name.
Right.
No. Do you need to change the name? Keep it Old Spice, but we're going to do this different twist.
Yeah.
On it.
I guess you know what? If I was in that meeting, I feel like I'd be like, look, the old guys they're not giving us up, right? They've been using Old Spice forever. They still got Old Spice and Brute in the closet, right? We just need that younger demo. So throw an octopus on the thing, a little Sasquatch, and be all right.
Yeah,
we'll get paid. Yeah, those are funny commercials. You know what? Probably the last idea that is interesting every now and again, and no company sticks out, are the like actual innovation moments, right? I wish I had something off the top of my head, but like tech usually, right? And something really like I could picture this year is going to be like an AI something or other, you know, where you're like, oh shit, they're doing that now, you know, and it's going to be such and such company. Like, here's what we're going to do. I wouldn't be shocked at all because Trump got that $500 billion, you know, from wherever he got it. Like, obviously that's a big push nationally, but I like those moments because it really does feel, or at least to me, like they're pivotal, notable moments, you know, that again, like we were saying before, it's like that's fertile ground for just such an occasion, right? If you're going to push some big wild thing, that's
some new innovative thing, something funny, get them to talk about it at the water cooler on Mondays. You have to promote that big thing. On Super Bowl on the Super Bowl game. It's crazy, but I love it. As a marketer, I love it because I'm always intrigued by the messaging. And when I'm watching commercials, this time when if you happen to watch it, try to see if you could understand, like, what are they going for? What was the vibe for that? Who are they targeting? I like going through those exercises. Sometimes I have no fucking clue. Like, what
were you thinking?
What were you thinking? On the other hand, it's like, that was genius. I still have no clue what you're thinking.
Right. But you know what? Ultimately, at the end of the day, it boils down to made you look. You know what I mean? If anything,
it's made you look. And I made you talk about it and chat about it and post it on social media.
And hopefully go viral with it.
Sometimes it doesn't happen that quickly, so you have to like measure in different ways. So I imagine they use like social media metrics to see is there anybody talking about
the video on YouTube is being shared. Reposted, all that kind of stuff. I think these days, 30 years ago, it goes around a water cooler. Maybe you catch it a time or two after, and then perhaps there's recognition of like, oh yeah, I remember that was, you know, it's summertime and they're still using the same commercial. But you know, and that's about it though. That's as deep as the fire goes. Now that's not the case. There's plenty of YouTube out there where it's just, no, here's the top 10 commercials from 1997. You know, it just live on forever. Right. So yeah, they can get some mileage out of it. So we'll see what they do. Yeah, should be a good one.
Should be a good one. About the game, I don't even know really. I go back and forth.
Who's it again? Chiefs?
It's Kansas City Chiefs versus Philadelphia Eagles.
Just for shits and giggles, to support my old man, because he would make fun of my cousins all the time who are Eagles fans. I'll go for the Chiefs. So they're going to win, but they're going to have a goal's worth.
So -7 is what you would say. See, I go back and forth. On one hand, it's like I just wish it was somebody else other than the Eagles that took down
Eagles.
Like, I wish it was like I said, it was Detroit Lions or somebody else that, you know, or in this case, if I were not being a 49er fan, I wish they made it to playoffs and they were going against them. Then I would root for the Niners. But like, the problem is for me is I'm a Kelsey fan because they're from Cleveland. They're always giving props to Cleveland, and you know that's my number one. So,
wait, Kelsey's on what team?
Travis Kelsey he's the tight end for Kansas City Chiefs. And so part of me is like, I want them to win, but then they get that's the first time a team goes 3 in a row, wins the Super Bowl. So I'm like, do I really want Kansas City to get that achievement? But I do like Travis Kelsey.
Just let them have their flowers if that's what they're going to get.
You
got to just, you know, maybe it's a dynasty. Maybe it's like the new, you know, I don't know. I don't know. What's a good team?
It's like the Eagle
Some
Fangs.
Other legendary
Eagle Fangs.
Eagle Fangs, bro. They could be as big as the Eagle Fangs one day, maybe.
Come on, you had to remember the Super Bowl shuffle with Chicago Bears. And they had that little commercial or that MTV skit or whatever where they're dancing and they're rapping. No?
Nope.
Dang, that was iconic.
I'll watch it for next podcast, bro.
The Bears.
I remember the Bears.
Yeah.
That's from SNL, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The Bears.
I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
Okay. Yeah, but there's no hope for you. I would try to like educate you, but it's just gonna go in one ear. It's like talking to Hannah.
Right.
Like if I talk to sports, she just She doesn't even like pretend. She's just like, oh, were you talking? Like,
are you done yet, football boy?
I mean, seriously, so every once in a while I have like a serious talk. I'm like, listen, you could talk about like all sorts of different things, sheep. And
should I put a wig on, dude? Are we doing therapy right now?
You could talk about, music, listen, and I'm like into it. I want to learn.
Sure.
But when I talk about the sports, you shut off like completely. I'm like, how about this? I had to make it like deals with her. Just like when I talk about the Browns, just can you at least every once in a while, like, really? Just wow. Just like, I don't give a shit if you're completely lying.
Just totally patronizing you.
I don't care. Just say, really? No way.
Bro.
No way. The only thing that I could get, no reason why I could get her to watch, because she likes watching the guys' asses on TV.
There's some good butts there, bro. They're very powerful men.
Hey, however I can get her to watch.
They're very powerful
However I can get her to watch.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'll be better. I'm going to be better researched.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, how about next episode we do the Superbowl ads of this, and we kind of rate them. Let's see which ones you like and which ones I like.
All right. I'm down.
Okay.
Little top 10 list or something?
Little top 10. We'll see who, if we kind of click on what struck us.
Okay. And I'm saying the Chiefs take it. All right. Cool. I guess we'll get out of here on that. From the iconic era of advertising to the digital age, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ernie.
Keep it legendary.